What's up, YouTube? I just want to do a little reveal, I guess, or showing of how I did this. I didn't really Google and see if there's any other ones that are doing it this way, but I just want to modify my Morakniv Kansbol. This is that multi-mount sheath. I just took the little Velcro straps off there, so you can strap it to your backpack or whatever. But yeah, this is everybody knows about the Kansbol, right? I'm not going to do a review on the knife or anything, but I do love it. It works really, really good. It has quickly become one of my favorites. Definitely throws the sparks like no other knife. So this is a multi-mount sheath, and I wanted to carry a fire steel on it, so I've seen a couple other people like tape theirs to it or whatever, and they made some kind of a tubing for theirs. I can focus that. But this tubing here, I just cut off a little piece of this pin, just the end of it there. I left the cap end down there, and then just cut it to length. And this is just one of them hair scrunchy, stretchy things. I don't know what you call those things, but it's one of these. I stole that from my daughter. And the fire steel is just that Swedish light my fire. I'll throw the focus there. There. Yeah, I cut that off because if you have a Mora, you really don't need that. So I got rid of that. And then the black bands they're just the Ranger bands, the little pieces of bicycle inner tube, that they use to secure everything. Just cut them into my own different sizes. So yeah, that's just that. Got, 2 on there and 2 here. The first one comes off. I just double wrapped it so it's extra strong and butt it up against this edge. And then that second one, just take that one off. I just wrapped it around there just so I can push it up off the edge of the case there. It won't sit in there by itself, of course. That's why you need that hair thing. But yeah, that's pretty much that part. But yeah, I'll just take this off for now anyway and show you the rest. I was trying to make it like a survival knife, of course, what everybody goes for. Bushcraft or survival. You just undo that part of the sheath, and then right here in the frame, this is the sharpening stone. I don't remember which one this was, but it's just super thin. And it fits in there real nice. I'll show you without the. It's almost flush underneath. So yeah, it works real good. The sheath don't really rub against it or anything, so you don't push it out. You put it in the right spot. You still see it in there. The only thing that you have to watch for is if you put those straps in right in there. You have to push this thing all the way up towards the top to get that strap in. This one works fine. But yeah, that's about it. That's the Mora, the Kansbol, and I don't know, I just bought it and I only used the knife. I didn't really try to set up any extra carrying stuff with it, but I like that fire steel sitting right on top here. That works real good. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I want to try to get a Garberg next. Really a big fan of these Moras. I did try to process some wood with it. It's pretty amazing to me. I became a fan of the Moors because I've seen those. I think it was Dutch Brothers knives. Watched their YouTube there on the robust. This one's definitely been used. But yeah, I had to have a robust. My brother gave me this one. Me and him watched it together and we're just dying laughing as they're cutting bricks and standing on a knife, sticking it in the trees and everything. But man, it is a strong knife. I haven't really used it a real lot, but I used it when I went fishing and I was cutting up bluegills for bait. It worked real good for that. And of course, cutting fishing line, no problem. But yeah, that's about the gist of it. I plan on doing some more videos. I don't know where this is gonna take me or not, but I figured if I'm gonna do videos, I gotta share my other love with the Lord. And this one, I just thought with the knife, just first thing that came to my mind was the story about Abraham and his son Isaac, which is what you see right there on your screen there. If you can't see it, either way, I'll read it out. It says, "Now it came to pass," well, this will be Genesis in chapter 22. "Now it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham, and he said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you." So Abraham rose early in the morning, and he saddled his donkey, and took of his young men with him, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son. And he split the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went with him. I'm having a hard time reading this today. And arose and went to the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted his eyes, and he saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey and the lad, and I will go yonder and worship, and we will come back to you. So Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and the 2 of them went together. But Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. Then he said, Look, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering. So the 2 of them went together. Then they came to a place of which God had told them, and Abraham built an altar there, and he placed the wood in order. And he bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from the heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. So he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not lay your hand on the lad, or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and looked. There behind him was a ram caught in the thicket by its horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place, The Lord Will Provide. As it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of the heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing, and have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you, and I will multiply your descendants as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. And in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to to his young men, and they rose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba.